Today we're going to take a look at two big areas. One is Shady Brook and the other one is east of Bexley Trail in the new construction. Here's an overview of actually what we'll be looking at. You see Water's Edge to the right of your screen, Shady Brook to the left, and that area we are over currently is the east side of Bexley Trail. So we're going to start over that east side of Bexley Trail. You can see Shady Brook up in that top right. Shady Brook's been well under construction for quite some time, and we have on this area, they are starting to move some things around. You'll be able to see the outlines of the two executive courses which are coming to the area, which are Beauty Berry Executive as well as the Honeysuckle Executive Golf Course. You'll be able to see some of the outlines of the greens and the tee boxes, things like that they're getting into place. You can see it's not quite as flooded as it was after the hurricane. We had some big downpour rain today. I mean, it came down in sheets. So if you know anybody that's been in this area, you will have seen or heard about the weather, rough weather we're having across the country this week. Here we got Shady Brook, and this is the new construction area. Shady Brook is pretty much underway, like well underway. Getting close to being done, and Water's Edge, kind of northeast of this area, is getting done as well. You can see kind of southeast of Bexley in the distance there. We're going to take a better look at that later, but you can see all the water and the retention ponds are definitely being taken care of. So with all the rain that we've had, you can see they've gotten that even east of Bexley Trail smoothed over and taken care of. Like I've pointed out in multiple videos in the past, you can pump water between these areas. So if one area is overflowing or one area needs water, they pump them between these retention ponds, all reclaimed water, and that's what they use to water their yards and things like that. Definitely not the drinking water, or so you hope. That is one thing I will say about Florida well water, especially in this area. It is not very good. There's a lot of iron in it. I drink it, but man, it will turn your toilet bowls orange and things of that nature. And if you have the white fences in the backyards, especially if you're using the reclaimed water, which you do in your sprinkler systems to water the lawn, it will turn that white fence orange with a quickness. This is kind of the border of Shady Brook and Water's Edge. So it's hard to tell where the lines between Water's Edge and Shady Brook kind of are in this area, but this is a little combination of both, and they're getting into Water's Edge. I would say they'll probably be well underway in Water's Edge within May. This area will probably be all filled up with lots and houses and foundations and all that kind of stuff. You've seen how long they take. It's usually about 5 months per house is what I've been told. And you can see that just in the Shady Brook area. Most of these houses were underway toward the end of the summertime, and look at the area now. It's pretty much complete. This road here runs right down through the middle of Shady Brook and all the way to Bexley Trail. Something significant here is that right down the other side of that water there in that area, we will be doing a driveway party for Mardi Gras. So that is coming up in March, and we'll have the food trailer over there for a neighborhood driveway party. If you're unfamiliar with those, we have a few videos back in the archives where we've done these before. Right in this area, actually, that we're flying over right now is where we will be doing that driveway party. And the lady that called me about it said that there will be about 75. She said there's about 75 homes in this area. So we'll be out there slinging some tacos and burgers and tenders and whatnot. So that'll be a good time. The driveway parties around this time of year start to pick up just because the weather. Typically toward the end of February, maybe middle of February, going into March, April, May, the driveway parties pick up because the weather is a lot nicer. It's not hot, it's not cold, and it's not as rainy. It does rain quite a bit in April, and in the past, we've had some cold days in April where it can affect things like that. But typically, the weather is starting to get really nice around those times. It has been a cold winter this year. I think because of all the hurricanes. Usually, when we get a bunch of hurricanes, it cools the weather down tremendously through the winter. But when you don't have the hurricanes and the winter is more mild, then we know we're going to get severe hurricanes, kind of like we did last year. Last year's winter was super mild. I don't think it froze one time, which usually we get one or two hard freezes, I would say, through the winter. Last winter, we did not get any hard freezes, and we kind of knew that the hurricanes would be coming. So, and obviously I'm not a meteorologist, but from my experience living in Florida, that's what I have seen. So this is that area east of Bexley, like we talked about earlier. This is where those two executive golf courses are going to be, the Beautyberry Executive Course and the Honeysuckle Executive Course. Meadowview is more north of here toward the Turnpike. And Bexley Trail kind of runs into another road that will take you over 470 north of the Turnpike, kind of out by the Cove, which I'll have another video probably tomorrow on the Cove for that. And you can see Shady Brook, Moultrie Creek, Middleton, all in the background of these areas. Water's Edge is over to the right. But they are doing construction, a lot of dirt moving in this area. I noticed it has picked up tremendously. The road leading out of Shady Brook, they are working on paving that and getting that under construction. And I did see some curb going in there as well. You can tell by the water retention and how they are moving the retention ponds around that they are going to start construction in this area, or doing a little bit more than what they have been doing. And here you can see there's a close-up of some of the cutouts of the greens or tee boxes, or they could be bunkers. Either way, for those golf courses that I mentioned earlier. A lot of the piping going in. You have the natural, well, it's not natural gas, the propane or the water pipes are getting placed, right? Or I should say gas pipes, I guess. And then the background you see here, we're flying north. And then we're going to turn. You'll be able to see Eastport as well, so downtown Eastport, so you can kind of get your bearings of where we're at, because this entire area is east of Eastport, the downtown Eastport area. Now, as we pan to the left, up in the top left there, that is Lake Denham and Dabney. The Cove is kind of back there also, way north. Those are all the designer homes. And we're turning kind of toward the west here. This is the area where the Meadowview Championship course will be. That's the 27-hole championship course. And you can see that right here. One of those golf cart bridges is being put in over the water, similar to Wellpoint, in that Wellpoint Woodlands Championship course area. One of those bridges across the water, linking the two holes together. I really like these bridges. The only thing is, when the rains come, sometimes the water will rise up to the bridge, which will kind of close these bridges down in some of the older areas. But for this area specifically, because they probably pumped in or put in a bunch of pipe to pump water in and out of the retention ponds, I don't think you'll have to worry about it too much over here. This, I cannot describe to you enough how vast this area is, how many acres this is. just how massive this entire property is. It is incredible how big this entire property is. One thing I did want to fly around is this little, they would call it a preserve. I would call it a swamp. It looks like it's got a bunch of clay in it, but the water, probably from the rains, looks super gray. And this is water. It's not sand. And you can kind of see how deep it is on all of the grassy marsh and things like that. Let me know what you think about this area. I think it's going to be a nice area once it's in. Obviously, they are looking at quite some time before all this is done with all the moving of the property and the dirt and things of that nature. But it is really getting underway and looking incredible. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, as always, and I will see you in the next one.